Biggles Adventures in Time is a 1986 action-adventure film from director John Hough. The movie opens with, isn't this the intro to Parasite Eve? Never mind that. Lightning! Biggles! Pop rock! Do you want to be a hero? All we need now is some doves, and this is 80s perfection. Jim's getting dropped off at his apartment by his girlfriend Debbie. He's an executive and has a big presentation he has to write. Meanwhile, Dr. Van Helsing is waiting around for Dracula. Jim goes to get the door and Even at 73, Peter Cushing looks like he could chokeslam any mere mortal to the ground. He asks Jim a very philosophical question.
May I be so bold as to inquire if you are all right?
Is anyone really all right? Jim thinks he's a crazy old man, so he sends him on his way. He's working on his speech when he's transported to Kansas? Just then, even though he's in the middle of nowhere, he's almost run over by a biplane. This is like Grand Theft Auto plane physics. He rescues the pilot, James Biggles Bigglesworth. Jim gets caught in a bomb blast and winds up back in his apartment. Oh man, what was in those taquitos? The next day, did they digitally remove the Twin Towers? Jim's going to work and now has PTSD. Look, it's Tyrone Biggums. Jim's the president of Celebrity Dinners, where they sell TV dinners endorsed by celebrities. Well, really just cardboard cutouts of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Evans. Here comes the obligatory annoying advertiser guy, Chuck. Jim's talking to Debbie about his presentation when in walks this guy again.
I see you've hurt your head.
I see you've discovered Dutch angles. The guy introduces himself as Colonel William Raymond. He then tells Jim he knows about what happened last night. He tells him he was on the Western Front in 1917. The two discuss what happened, and he tells Jim he needs him to come to London. Whoa, what's happening to the camera? Later, the Celebrity Dinners team is putting on an event for potential investors. Jim gets hit by lightning, and blammo! He's back in 1917. Only this time, he's in a plane with Biggles. Biggles needs to take a picture of a new German superweapon. Since they're flying into hostile territory, here comes super evil German guy. Oh, wait! That's Lord Humongous!
Just walk away.
Exciting dogfighting action! No, really, this is kind of cool. They locate the secret weapon, take a picture, and get away. Jim then winds up back in current time and catches the next plane to London. He heads to the address on the business card to meet Commander Raymond. Raymond tells him he was Bigglesworth's CO, and he gave him Jim's business card back in 1917. They're trying to make sense as to why Jim keeps time traveling. Last time he was in 1917, he had the photo of the German weapon, but brought it back to the 80s with him. Wouldn't that have altered the course of history, setting off a series of... it's not that kind of time travel movie. Back in New York, Debbie's confused about what happened to Jim. Chuck, of course, has ideas.
Psychosis, trauma.
Jim calls Debbie to tell her where he is. She leaves for London, and naturally brings Chuck along. Raymond gave Jim some equipment and a uniform so he wouldn't go back in time unarmed. This, of course, leads to hilarity!
Oh, excuse me, sir, I didn't see you there. I'll come back later.
He didn't time travel last night, so he thinks it's safe to take a shower.
Mistake!
Oh dear, there's Jim's, secret weapon. He lands in the middle of a convent. Whoever thought these giant hats was a good idea? Jim gets taken by Biggles' team, which he remembers from the photo Raymond showed him. Biggles stops them from shooting him and gets him some nun clothes. They go further into the convent, and Biggles runs into Marie, his old girlfriend. She used to be a German agent who became a traitor when she fell in love with Biggles. Well, I guess Biggles is, big. The Germans surround the church. Biggles and company decide to give up so they don't hurt the nuns. They take him to Captain Erich von Stallein, the evil pilot from earlier. Biggles gets saucy with him.
The firing squad will not be nearly as enjoyable.
But far less likely to botch the job.
So the team's put before the firing squad. Jim isn't there because he's in his nun disguise.
Grenade!
The team then takes this opportunity to escape. Jim then travels back to the present when Debbie discovers he's got a new habit. Chuck decides to try and have Jim committed. Jim tells Debbie what's happening, and she believes him. Now that's some relationship support. Marry this girl!
I keep going back to World War I, where I'm helping this guy named Biggles find and destroy a German secret weapon.
Okay, this look means she believed him 10 seconds ago, but now not so much. Thankfully, the police don't believe Chuck, and they arrest him. Jim gets hit with the time travel lightning, and Debbie latches on, so she goes back with him. Of course, this time they go back right in the middle of a battle. Oh, I hope this is the trench with Wonder Woman in it. They meet up with Biggles and head through some underground caves. Debbie thinks she's tripping.
I know this is some kind of hallucination, and it's gotta be those mushrooms I ate on the plane.
They then find an exit that takes them to Detroit. Is that a crashed UFO? Oh, naturally, the aliens did this! They notice the city is something the Germans have been using for weapons testing. Okay, it's not a UFO, but a bunker the Germans have been using during the weapons tests. They try to get inside the German igloo, but get caught. The Germans then decide to use them as the dummies. Debbie maces the soldier, and they escape to the bunker. They get inside just in time to see everyone get cooked. Wow, it made the howitzer go to negative! They go outside, and the bad guys have been microwaved. Ugh, cheap Chinese knockoff. Hey, let's see what else we can break. Dear God, Debbie, what are you doing? Jim's taking out a row of Germans when they go back to London. Yeah, of course he's shooting at the cops. Oops. Debbie falls in a trash can. Jim's running away, and wow, his wanted level went up quickly. Just then, Biggles saves him. Seems he was pulled into the future this time. They run away, and parkour? This 1-minute segment is already better than the entirety of Assassin's Creed. They need disguises so they can get into Raymond's secret base. Kind of funny that a guy in full World War I military gear fits in with 1980s punks. Showcasing just how good of an actor Peter Cushing is his ability to say something this ridiculous with genuine sincerity and emotion.
Biggles.
They have a brief moment as Biggles tries to adjust to the fact that he's in the future. Raymond gives Biggles the photograph Jim took from the past. They need to get away from the police. Why didn't they just stay in the commander's secret lair until they time traveled? Nah, let's rappel down the bridge for no reason. As if things weren't silly enough, a British pilot from 1917 hijacks a helicopter from 1985.
If you can fly a sop with camel, you can fly anything.
Biggles figures out how to fly while Jim's stunt double hangs outside. The lightning hits and takes them and the helicopter back into the past. How is this not messing up time? Staline chases them, but they lose him. I love angry conductor guy. Hey, you kids and you stupid planes. They fly into the Super Seizure Maker 2000 and blow it up. Biggles then rescues the church from the Germans. This doesn't seem like very appropriate music to be played while dozens of people are being killed. Staline flies in and shoots Marie. Biggles then blows him up. Marie's in the convent with the nuns and... Wait, is that the Lord? Oh, good grief. With the day saved, Jim goes back to 1985 and the police pick him up. Raymond then takes him away from the cops. Jim's reunited with Debbie and they immediately get married. Now, why would Chuck be the best man other than so they could do this?
The ring, please.
Just as they're about to tie the knot, Jim goes, here? Looks like it's more hijinks in time!
You think you guys are in hot water? I was just getting married. This is a hell of a way to start a honeymoon. Hey, Biggles, where are we going?
The movie was filmed mostly in England, with some stock footage in New York in March of 1985. Filming ran for about 6 weeks. Biggles, the character, first appeared in the book The Camels Are Coming in 1932. He was created by World War I pilot W.E. Johns. The character was a combination of himself and several other pilots. The book series was incredibly popular, and Johns wrote 98 books until his passing in 1968. In 1960, there was a TV series based on the books that ran for 44 episodes. In the late 1970s, a company called Yellow Bill Films acquired the rights to the character. With how popular the book series was, there were many people excited about the film adaptation. However, the film went through various levels of development hell. Originally, it was supposed to stick close to its roots, being a film about the adventures of the World War I pilot, an adventure film somewhere along the lines of Raiders of the Lost Ark. However, while they were working on the film, Back to the Future came out and was a monster hit. One of the producers thought that in order to appeal to today's audiences, they should incorporate time travel into the film. Needless to say, the people who were initially excited about it were not too happy with the change. At one point, they even considered Dudley Moore for the role, but decided to go with Neil Dixon. Dixon had just returned from Africa, where he had been filming the biblical epic AD for the past 9 months. He grew up reading the Biggles books and was overjoyed at the possibility to play the character. When he met with all the producers of the film, there was no final script yet. He took the role simply because he loved the character. Alex Hyde-White played Jim. He was born in England, but raised in the US. He'd done mostly TV work, but Biggles was a huge break for him, being his first lead. This led to a highly successful career in both TV and movies. Peter Cushing played Colonel William Raymond. This was his last film. He's had an amazing career with over 100 credits and numerous awards. I could, and probably should, do a video dedicated to just him. Sadly, he died in England in 1994 of prostate cancer. For the scene where Biggles crashes the plane, originally it was much different. The scene was supposed to have the plane attached to a wire to a crane, and it would swing around and slide into the ground. They were filming a rehearsal, and the wire to the plane snapped, causing it to crash upside down, destroying the plane. They had the plane built for the film, and couldn't afford another one. They had enough footage of it, and decided to change the scene to make it work. They were anticipating the film to be a big hit, and even had a video game tie-in set to launch when the movie did. Dixon was invited to a screening of an early cut of the film, and the director told him not to go. He did anyway, and afterwards he felt sick. He said the film was so bad he thought his career was over. He'd seen it again later and admitted it grew on him, and now he enjoys it for what it is, rather than what it isn't. The movie premiered as part of a royal charity event on May 22, 1986, with both Prince Charles and Princess Diana in attendance. The theatrical release was the next day, and it was almost universally panned. Critics hated the film, calling the script witless, and noted the time travel aspect was shoehorned in to appeal to a mid-Atlantic teenage audience. Over the years, the film has been rediscovered, and audiences have been much kinder. Many grew up with the film, like the people who grew up reading the books. The music in the film was a big deal. John Anderson of Yes did the opening and closing theme. Deep Purple, Motley Crue, and Queen were also on the soundtrack. John Deacon, in his only non-Queen recording, did the song No Turning Back as part of the Immortals. In Austin Powers, Mr. Bigglesworth, the cat, was a nod to Biggles. Biggles Adventures in Time is a bizarre film. The time travel doesn't make any sense. It's almost as if they were rewriting the script on the fly while filming, which they were. Still, it doesn't matter. While the movie veered way off the source material, the end result was still a fun, swashbuckling tale. It seems that over the years, there were many fans of the books who came to love the movie. And what's not to love? It's got a great cast, a great soundtrack, and it has an undeniable charm about it. Dixon and Hyde work great together, and because of the film, became good friends that are still friends to this day. This is a case of where I wouldn't mind them doing a remake, because the movie was so different from the books. If they did a readaptation of the books, I'm sure that would make loads of people happy.
Get us out of here before they start realizing you're not a god, you're just an American.